Hi folks, Speedway Tag here again with another quick review of a game I recently got. It's another Button Shy published game, and I'm surprised that this game is not being spoken about very much. I don't see much of it on YouTube at all. It's called Forest Sky. It's another wallet game, so it's got about 18 cards in it. It's a 2 to 4 player game, and I'm surprised because it's a really great game. It's brilliantly designed. The artwork, as you can see, is fantastic. It's all to do with birds, and in the base game you get hawks and crows, owls and eagles. In the open air little expansion you also get nests, which is one there, and you get mockingbirds, and I believe also vultures as well. So it's a really simple game, but boy, is it strategic and very thinky. So you get dealt 3 cards at the start, each person. I've just shown my opponent's 3 cards up there as well. In the middle of the table, there's the remainder of the deck, and to each side of the deck, these 3 cards are considered the left forest, and these 3 cards are considered the right forest. And gameplay goes whereby you either draw a card from the deck, add it to your hand, and then place one into one of the 2 forests, either to the left or to the right, if they're not filled up like this, of course. This is a bit later on in the game. Instead of doing that, you can actually swap a card from your hand. So you don't draw one, you swap a card from your hand with one of the cards in the forest if you want that. That's providing that the card in the forest is unlocked, and when they're in this landscape orientation, they're considered unlocked and they're free to take. And the third action that you can do is you can choose to lock one of those cards. So I can go ahead and say, you know what, that I want that mockingbird to permanently stay there because I want to score it at the end of the game. So one of your actions can be to turn it portrait orientation, and then it's considered locked. It's never going to move from there. And then the other person might lock this owl, and then I might draw from the deck, or maybe I'll swap a card. So maybe I'll get rid of my crow, and because I want that hawk, so then I'll put the hawk in my hand, and the crow will go landscape in there. My opponent might decide, oh, you know what, I want to lock this this crow over here, so I'll lock it because I want to use it later. And you're making these decisions based on a plan that you're starting to develop, hopefully, as the game goes on, as to what best 3-card hand you're going to have at the end of the game. Because each card, as you can see, has different scoring conditions. This eagle says you score 10 points if you have all even values, and the values of the cards are there in the corner. This nest says score 7 points if your forest has exactly 2 of the same type of bird. This hawk says you're going to score 10 points if you have exactly 2 types of birds. This crow over here says you're going to score 12 points if you have 3 pairs of different birds, I assume, or maybe the same bird. And various abilities like this, scoring conditions. Use the value of any other card in the game for this card. Score 8 points for this owl if you have all odd value cards, and so on. Even the old poker straight, score 8 points if you have a 5-card straight. And the reason why the forests are significant here, and not just your hand, because at the end of the game, when every card except one here in the middle is locked, so if we had 5 locked cards here, like that, okay, 5 out of the 6 are locked, that's when the game ends, and then we would score. And you'd score your 3 cards you'd score what they say but you'd also be using one of the other forests to be included in your groups to be trying to meet these scoring conditions. So these are the cards that will actually score, but you use them and 3 other cards to meet those conditions. So I might say, okay, I'm going to score these 3, and I'm going to use these 3 cards and this forest, or I'm going to use these 3 cards and this forest, for various reasons based on what the scoring conditions are. Imagine if I had only hawks. Oh, how about this person over here? They've got mainly hawks and a crow, and they might want to score. And if this forest had only crows in it, let's say there was a third crow here, they would meet that condition of having only 2 different birds. And if they're going for a straight, they can use the numbers here, and they can use the numbers here as well. So I hope that's not confusing. The idea is that you score with your own 3 cards at the end of the game, and by choosing one of the forests to score to help you achieve these goals that you've got at the top of your card. Very strategic game. A lot thinkier than you would expect. Great push and pull kind of feeling about it, and it's really fun trying to make these combos work and to try and get the right cards into the forests so that they will benefit you at the end of the game. And of course your opponent might have an idea of what you're going for and might lock certain cards in the forest or swap certain cards in the forest to get them away from you. It's really great push and pull strategic ploys that you can pull against each other. So that's Forest Sky. It's really fun, 2 players. I haven't tried it 3 or 4. I'm not sure how well it would go 3 or 4 with the size of the deck, but it'll probably be okay. 2 is great so far. And as I said, the little expansion Open Air gives you vultures, nests, and mockingbirds. So again, this is just a game about maximizing what you get to score at the end based on what your scoring conditions are. Some of these cards have little icons on them. This one has got a claw. This one's got a feather. You're only allowed to score one of those at the end of the game. So if I had more than one of those in here, I'd only be able to score 1. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Forest Sky. I'd recommend you go and check this one out. It's super fun.